Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Charts podcast. I am your host, Miriam, aka the Curly Trader, here to help you start your day with purpose and power. I hope you woke up with unwavering faith that what you're working towards is already on its way to you, but please remember, whether you are on or off the charts, it's all about positioning. Step by step, trade by trade, you got to align yourself to seize these opportunities because success doesn't wait for anyone, and neither should you. It is currently 5:09 p.m. and it's kind of cold and then it's hot, Costa Mesa, California. And today we're going to be talking about 6 ways that your money mindset is keeping you broke. That's right. If you are grinding but not getting ahead, your mindset might be the very thing holding you back. And today we're breaking down exactly why that is and how you can change it. So go grab a snack, a pen and paper, and a cold and maybe a hot drink because we're going to get into it, shall we? So a fun fact, last week marked the 1-year anniversary of the Curly Trader. This is actually so wild to see how far and how much has happened in 1 year. Honestly, it's crazy. But here's the wild part, because when I reflect on everything, right, it's not just the fact that it's been a year that blows my mind. What's so wild about this whole process is that I almost didn't start any of this at all. Like, I shit you not, I sat on the Instagram handle for 2 whole years, y'all. 2 years of thinking I'm going to get into it when the time is right, or I just need a little bit more time before I put myself out there. And then it hit me, right? Life can completely change by just flipping the switch in one small area. Like, think about that for a second. It's crazy because one decision that you make can completely change everything in your life. And there's a whole lesson in that, which I'll dive deeper into later. But for now, just know this, okay? The one thing standing between you and the life that you want might just be the one switch you haven't flipped yet. So today, we're going to get into the 6 ways that your mindset is keeping you broke. And if you're feeling stuck, hopefully by the end of this episode, you'll have a much clearer idea of why you're stuck and, more importantly, how to break free from it. All right, let's kick things off by talking about the not enough mentality. Okay, this is when you constantly believe that there's never enough to go around, whether it's money, time, or opportunities. It's this mindset that keeps you stuck in scarcity. Right? You're always worried that you're going to run out or miss out, right? And the thing with this mentality is it's a straight up thief, all right? It robs you of your potential to grow because when you're always focused on what's missing, you really can't see what's possible, right? Like, I'm going to be real with you. I was guilty of this when I first started trading. Every single trade that I took felt like it was like this last chance to make money, right? Like, oh my God, this is the one. If I don't jump in right now, I'm never going to get another shot. And because I was so focused on this fear of missing out, I made terrible decisions. I rushed into trades. I panicked exits, you name it. I did it, right? All because it was coming from this place of there's not enough. But here's what I learned, and I need you to hear this. There are always more opportunities. The market doesn't just give you one shot and then pack up and leave, right? It's always going to be there. But if you're stuck in that not enough mindset, you won't be able to see that because you're going to be so busy worrying about what you might lose to see what you can actually gain. Like, let's look at where we are in 2024. Credit card debt is at an all-time high. People are living beyond their means. And at times when the stock market pulls back, a lot of people panic. They see red and they immediately think, oh my God, everything's on fire. I need to sell all of my shares. And instead of looking at the dip as if it's a buying opportunity, right? They're too scared to act. I don't know about you, but I get hyped when the market has a pullback. And the deeper the pullback, the better, because not only do I get to capitalize in the short term by shorting the trend and making money, but I also see it as an opportunity to go long on the stocks that are essentially now on sale. It's a win-win. You guys have probably heard the phrase seeing is believing, right? But what if we flip that? What if we thought of it as believing is seeing? Because if you believe there's not enough of something, then that's the sort of reality that you're going to create. You're going to create a reality of hesitation, missed opportunities, and just overall playing things small. But when you shift to an abundant mindset, when you start believing that there's always more where something came from, then you start opening doors for bigger possibilities. So if you're telling yourself things like, I don't have enough, or there's never enough to go around, you've got to flip that script. You need to start looking at what you do have, right? It's all about actually having this foundation of gratitude, focusing on the things that are in your life and how you can build from there. Get out of this lack mindset and focus on the fact that there's always more to create, always more to grow, and always more to invest in. So that brings me to broke mindset number 2, and that's FOMO, or fear of missing out. And y'all know exactly what this is, okay? This one is just as destructive, if not more, than the not enough mindset. It's that little voice in your head that tells you you are going to regret not taking action or jumping onto something that everyone else is partaking in. And to anyone who needs to hear this, FOMO is not your friend. It keeps you in a constant cycle of chasing. And the thing is, you're never actually missing out. You're not being left behind. What you're really missing out on is your opportunities, your own opportunities, because you're so focused on someone else's. I'll tell you a story real quick because this actually happened to a close friend of mine during the whole AMC GameStop frenzy, right? Y'all remember that. We're going to call him Alan. Okay? Because I'm not about to put my homie on blast like that. But back in 2021, as you all remember, AMC was going bonkers, right? And homeboy Alan decided to FOMO into buying AMC call options. I mean, we're talking about a stock that had no business being up over 1,000%. So in a matter of a week, Alan's call options were up $7,000 in unrealized profits. I mean, this dude had never made that kind of money so easily before in his life. He was hyped. I remember he called me. He was so excited. He was like, yo, you have to get into this AMC. It's going to the moon. Let's go. Get your money in. And I was just like, bro, cash that shit out. Take the win and run. And what did he do? He didn't cash out. Of course he didn't cash out because of all the hype with GameStop and the apes and whatever have you, right? Like he was so convinced that the price of AMC would keep going up. So he held through a pullback, right? He thought it was just a blip. But the problem is the pullback didn't stop. It kept going. And instead of cutting his losses or at least taking some profit off, he held on to those options like they were his lifeline. And eventually, what happened? Yep, you guessed it. His contracts expired worthless, and that $7,000 he could have put easily in his pocket was all gone. And this was all because FOMO led to greed. He wasn't following a strategy. He was simply chasing the hype. And that's not the only example of how FOMO has hurt people. I mean, you hear about this happening every day. But that's what FOMO does, right? It makes you blind to reality, whether it's trading or in business or just in life, right? Like FOMO makes you start chasing what everyone else is doing instead of sticking to your own plan and your own route. It never leads anywhere good. And so when you're constantly chasing what everyone else is doing, you're not only not following your goals or your strategy or your growth, You are literally being pulled out of alignment with your own journey. FOMO makes you think that just because someone else is winning right now, you are somehow falling behind. But that is so far from the truth because your path is your own. Your timeline is your own. And just because someone else is having their moment doesn't mean that yours isn't coming. I really honestly, thinking about it right now, I should have made FOMO the number one broke mindset because it really forces you to think and act in scarcity. But that's just not how success works. There is more than enough to go around, and your opportunity isn't tied to someone else's timeline. Feel me? So here's what I want you to do. Okay. The next time you feel that FOMO creeping in, whether it's in trading, in business, or in life, whatever it is, okay, I want you to pause. Just take a fucking breath. Take a breath, take a breather, and ask yourself in that moment, am I chasing this because it's part of my path or my plan? Or am I chasing it because I don't want to feel left out? If it's not part of your plan, let that shit go. Simple. Just let it go. And more importantly, have faith that your moment is coming. Have faith that your strategy, your process is going to get you where you need to be. Because the people that win in trading, the people that win in business, in life, those are the ones who stay focused on their own game. They don't get distracted by what everyone else is doing. They don't give a fuck, okay? They don't chase the trends or the quick wins. They play the long game. And that's where real success comes from. Damn, okay, that was that was kind of a lot, all right? But let's go ahead and move on to broke mindset number 3. And this one's kind of my favorite one, to be honest. Money is the root of all evil. So I know a lot of us have heard this one. And specifically, if you come from certain cultural or religious backgrounds, you may have heard this a lot. It's this concept that wanting money or having a lot of it somehow makes you greedy or selfish. Like if you want to be wealthy, right, you must be doing something shady or something super wrong in life. And this is the one that I think keeps so many people stuck, so many people broke and bitter. And let's get something straight right now, okay? Money itself is not evil. It's what people do with it that can be good or bad. I mean, just think about it, right? Money itself is just a tool. It's a resource, right? Like think of a hammer, okay? You can use a hammer to build a house, or you can use it to smash a window. It's not the hammer's fault either way. It's how the person holding the hammer chooses to use it. And the same goes for money. And it's funny because one of my favorite quotes, and for the longest time I had no idea where this was from, but it's from a movie called The Boiler Room. And Ben Affleck is the character that says this. He's so funny, but he's talking to a group of prospects. And one of the things he says is, anybody who tells you money is the root of all evil doesn't fucking have any. And I just find that so raunchy, but so honest at the same time because it speaks to both sides of the coin. Like if you are a good person, having more money is only going to amplify that. It's going to allow you to do more good, to help more people, create more positive change, right? But if you're a shitty person, right, you have a bad heart, sure, of course, money is only going to fuel that. It's only going to fuel the greed and negativity. But let's be very clear, right? Money doesn't actually change who you are. It only reveals who you already are. Think about it. Like the people that are there right now, right? They're making a huge positive impact with their wealth. They're donating to causes they believe in. They're funding schools. They're creating jobs. They're building communities. Does that make them evil for having money? No. They're using it as a tool to make a difference. But if you have it in your head that wanting more money or accumulating wealth is inherently bad, then you're naturally and energetically going to push it away, whether you realize it or not. When you believe money is evil or that having it makes you a bad person, you subconsciously start sabotaging your own financial growth. I mean, shit, you might even start turning down opportunities or avoiding taking risks and getting comfortable just by scraping by because you feel safer. And now you've convinced yourself that somehow staying broke makes you more humble or more real. But let me ask you something, okay? How is staying broke serving you? And I'm not trying to like I'm not trying to call anyone out, but like think about this concept, right? Like how is staying broke helping your family? How is it helping your community? How is it serving your life? How is it allowing you to create the life and the trajectory that you actually want? How is it helping you find your purpose? Having money gives you options. That's the reality. It gives you the freedom to live life on your own terms, to help the people that you care about, and to create opportunities for others. And if you're in the markets right now or thinking about getting into investing and you've still got this whole money is evil belief sitting in the back of your mind, you're not going to play to win. You're going to play not to lose. And there's a difference because the latter is a broke mindset. And look, I'm not saying that you need to start worshiping money or let it run your life. That, on the contrary, that's exactly what I'm saying you shouldn't do. But it's important to understand that having more of it can actually open doors for you, for the people you care about, and for the causes you believe in. And if you are someone, this is a strong part, but if you are someone who genuinely wants to do good in the world, why wouldn't you want more of the resources that allow you to make that happen? So here's the mindset shift that I want you to make. Money is not the root of all evil. Fear and scarcity and lack of purpose are. Because when you are focused on the good that money can do, when you see it as a tool to build the life that you want and help others along the way, everything changes. You stop feeling guilty for wanting more and you start positioning yourself to actually get more. And trust me, when you break free from that scarcity mindset, when you stop thinking that wanting more money makes you a bad person, you're going to see opportunities that were right in front of you this whole time. All right, broke mindset number 4. This one is a twofer: procrastination and fear of taking risks. So I know I told you guys earlier that I sat on the Curly Trader Instagram handle for 2 years. Yes, I know, long ass time. And I was thinking to myself, I'll get into it when everything's perfect, right? I need better gear. I need better editing. I need a better camera, this, that, and the third, right? And then I'll be ready. And then when I finally forced myself, and I actually did, I'm not kidding. I had to force myself to get started. But I'll be honest, when I got started, my first post, oh my God, it was terrible. It was so bad. I mean, I'm not even talking like the camera quality was trash. Like my voice was shaky. I sounded like I don't even know, okay? It was just atrocious. Not to mention, it took me 3 freaking hours to edit a 60-second clip. 3 hours. But I posted the damn thing, okay? And even though it was far from perfect, it led to momentum. And the crazy thing is, that rough start, that moment that I finally forced myself to act is what got me here today, talking to all of y'all on this podcast. Now, I'm telling you this because, listen, I know that there are some of you sitting on something right now. Okay. You have an idea, you have a plan, you have a dream that you've just been thinking about for months, maybe even years, but you haven't started yet. You might be also waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions or the perfect setup. And I'm going to be real with you. That moment is never going to come. The perfect time does not exist. And the whole time you are waiting, thinking, diverging from taking the first step, someone else, someone less experienced and with fewer resources is out there killing it at the one thing you said you were going to start last year. Crazy. I've been there. Okay, this is real talk. I have been there. I have made the excuses. This is the same conversation I've already had with myself. I have delayed things that I knew I should have done sooner. And I've watched other people move ahead while I was, quote, waiting for the right time. And I don't want that for you. I want to see you win. Here's the thing, like procrastination and fear of taking risks are two sides of the same coin. The reality, if you really think about it, the reality is you're not putting things off because you're busy or distracted. Most of the time, you're putting things off because deep down, you're terrified of what might happen when you actually do it, right? Like you're scared that it might not work out. You're scared of failing. So instead of taking action, you tell yourself, I'll do it when I'm ready, knowing damn well that ready is just an excuse, right? Let me paint something for you, okay? Imagine you're on a treadmill, all right? You're walking, you're moving, you're maybe sweating a little bit, right? Oof, you're out of breath, okay? You're beating yourself on this treadmill, huffing and puffing. But as you start to look around, right? You start to look around and you realize you're not really going anywhere. You're expending all of this energy, but you are stagnant. You are in the same spot. And that's what playing it safe does to your life. It keeps you in motion, but it doesn't actually propel you forward. And to really grow, you have to step off that damn treadmill. You got to get off it and you have to start walking in the direction that feels uncertain. That's where the real progress happens. And this isn't just about trading or in business. It's really about life. I mean, you'll notice this is pretty prominent in every podcast episode that I talk about. But my question to you is where are you playing it safe in your life? Maybe it's in a relationship that you're not happy in, but you continue to stay in because it's comfortable. Or maybe it's your health, right? You keep telling yourself, all right, I'm going to start working out. I'll get that gym membership, right? And I'll start eating better, quote, next week, right? Because you're not ready yet. But deep down, you know that staying comfortable isn't getting you anywhere. It's just keeping you where you are. So if there's anything I want you to take from this, it's this. Success does not come from playing it safe. It doesn't come from waiting for the perfect time or avoiding risk until you feel 100% ready. It comes from action. It comes from taking smart, calculated risks and from being willing to fail and learn along the way. Listen, the most successful people are not the ones who waited for everything to be just right? They're the ones who started when it was messy. They figured it out along the way. The hard truth is you're going to fail. You're going to fall hard. You're going to fall on your ass so many times. It's going to happen. But start becoming okay with that. Start seeing that as the inevitable. Because every time you fail, right, you learn something. You pivot. Every time you take a risk and it doesn't work out, you learn what to not do. But if you never take that risk, you are guaranteeing that nothing changes. And the only thing worse than failing is never trying. Feel me? All right, great. Let's get into broke mindset number 5. And that is blaming external circumstances. Ooh, I got a good one for you guys. So the other day, okay, I was driving along, minding my own business, playing some music. I was in my own vibe. I was feeling myself. Windows were down. It was nice, okay? I was feeling good. And then out of nowhere, this car decides to cut me off. Like full on, no space between us, just slides right in like it's nothing. Yo, bro, the way I felt my blood start to boil. Like who the bleep and bleep does this bleep and bleeper think they are? I was pissed. Okay. And for a split second, I was about to let this complete stranger ruin my whole day. But then a glimmer of logic entered my conscious, and I took a breath. And instead of going into full Miriam rage mode, y'all don't want to see that, by the way. But I started reframing the situation. Okay. I started putting myself in their situation. I thought, all right, maybe they're just late for work. What if they're rushing to pick up their kid, right? And they're late. Or you want to know what? Hey, what if they really just needed to take a shit? I mean, let's be real, right? Sometimes nature calls, and when you got to go, you got to go. Okay. And I realized at that moment that it wasn't about me. They weren't targeting me. They probably didn't even realize they cut me off. Why was I making this so personal? I mean, shoot, I've cut people off before and it was never an intentional thing to piss the driver off. Most of the time, I was in a rush, or maybe I didn't even realize I was doing it, right? Now, I share this story because it's exactly how a lot of us go through life. We take things so personally and blame the circumstances around us like it's like as if they're designed to work against us. But the thing is, when you are constantly blaming external circumstances for why things are not going your way, what you're doing is giving away your power. Following me? You are essentially saying, this is out of my control, this is out of my hands, and that is a dangerous mindset to live in. And this happens all the time in trading, right? It's so much easier to look at a string of losses and think, hey, yo, this market is rigged. Or, you know what? If it weren't for the markets doing this, that, and the third, I would be profitable. I've been there. But let me tell you something. Respectfully, the market doesn't give a shit about you. It's not rigged against you. It is not targeting you out of all the millions of other traders in the world. It is just simply doing what the market does. It fluctuates, it moves, and sometimes acts in an unpredictable way. But what matters the most is how you respond to it. You can't control every single little external factor, but you can control your actions and how you adapt, right? This is in trading and in life. That's what matters. So instead of pointing the fingers and acting like the victim, start asking yourself, what is it that I can do differently? Because you have way more control than you think. And yes, of course, there are certain things that are out of your control, right? Like the market will do what it does. Your boss might be a stingy asshole with that raise. And yeah, life is fucking messy. But what you can control is how you respond. You can control how you show up, how you adapt, and how you move forward. The moment you stop playing the blame game is the moment you start taking back your power. It's like that driver who cut me off, right? They didn't wake up that morning and think, I'm gonna go ruin Miriam's day today. That's not how it works. It wasn't about me, and it's not personal. Most of the time, it's never personal. And the same goes for your situation. The market isn't against you. Your job isn't holding you back. The world isn't out to get you. But if you're still stuck blaming everything else, you're giving away the one thing that you do have control over: your ability to change your approach, to grow, and to get better. So if you've been feeling like everything is working against you, I want you to take a second and ask yourself, what part of this situation can I take responsibility for? What is the one thing I can control? Because when you shift that focus from what is happening to you to what can you do about it, that's when the game changes. The people who succeed in trading and in life, they're not the ones with the easiest circumstances, right? Like they weren't handed everything on a silver platter. They were just the ones who took ownership. They were the ones who, no matter what, no matter how tough the situation was, they always asked themselves, how can I make this work? So again, stop blaming the market. Stop blaming the circumstances. Start looking inward and take control of what's within your power. And I promise you're going to start seeing a shift. And that brings us to our final broke mindset number 6, fear of success. Yeah, I know. This one sounds a little weird, right? Like, okay, why would anyone be afraid of winning, right? Like that's it's a weird thing. This is actually something that a lot of people deal with, even if they don't realize it. On the surface, we all want success, more money, more freedom, more opportunities, right? This sounds like a dream. But the thing is, success comes with a lot of pressure. And sometimes that pressure is even scarier than the idea of failing. Like, sure, we all have moments where we dream about making it big, right? But what happens after you've actually made it? What happens when everyone's watching your every move, waiting for you to mess up? What if you can't handle it? What if you're not good enough? What if you don't know what you're doing and actually expose yourself, right? Like, you know what this reminds me of? Oh my God. All right, this is kind of sad. Okay, do you remember that iconic moment in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? Like I'm talking like when Will's dad came back into his life, he's all happy, right? Oh my God, my dad's back. But then in the end, his dusty ass dad ends up leaving him again. And then at the end of it, Will turns to his Uncle Phil with like tears going down his eyes. And he goes, how come he don't want me, man? Oh my God. Bro, it is such a shitty moment. I am so sorry if I just opened up any old wounds with that imagery, but that scene, oh my God, that scene hits so different because it's not just about abandonment. It's about fear of being wanted, right? Like this fear of being loved and wondering, am I even good enough to keep that love? And that's kind of how success can feel sometimes. Like you finally get what you've been chasing after, whether it's a promotion or, these big profits in trading or hitting a personal goal, right? And then boom, you're suddenly wondering, damn, am I really cut out for this? Like, can I actually keep this up? Or what if I lose it all, right? And just like that, imposter syndrome kicks in. Yes, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's that vicious little voice in your head that whispers, psst, you don't belong here. You just got lucky. Any day now, they're going to figure you out. You don't actually know what you're doing. I don't know why I'm whispering, but that's what it is. Just evil. It's like this evil whisper, like just freaking in your head, right? And imposter syndrome is really the fucking worst because it convinces you that even when you do succeed, that you're a fraud, that you're not as capable as people actually think you are. And it can creep in, especially when you start seeing success. It's like the more that you achieve, the more pressure you feel to prove that you deserve to be there. It's fucking exhausting, honestly. And if you let it, it will keep you playing small because staying small sometimes feels safer than risking being, quote, found out, right? It's psychotic. But this happens a lot in trading. When you start seeing consistent profits, the stakes get higher, right? It's no longer about just getting by. It's about maintaining it. And then that can feel scary. I mean, that can feel scary as hell, but you start second guessing yourself in a way, right? You start overanalyzing every single trade. And before you know it, you're stuck in this loop of, what if I can't keep this up? I mean, shoot, you might even start self-sabotaging. just so you don't have to deal with the pressure of maintaining success. I know it's crazy, but it happens. And the thing about success that I think freaks a lot of people out is this belief that, again, you don't deserve it, that you're not ready for it. But those are just narratives. Those are just stories that you're telling yourself. And the truth is, you're so much more capable than you think. You didn't come this far just to turn around and play small because you're afraid of what's going to happen next. Like when I first started the Curly Trader, I was hyped, right? Like, yes, I told you it was like this fucking struggle to get it moving, but I was hyped when I started seeing the engagement, when I started seeing people actually following what I'm posting, it felt like everything was clicking. But as the numbers grew, so did the pressure. Suddenly, I had eyes on me. Suddenly, people were paying attention, right? They expected value from me. And then I started thinking, oh my God, what if I can't deliver? What if I let people down? What if they realize I'm not as good as they think I am? And y'all, let me tell you, it was getting to me, right? Like I started posting less. I was overthinking every piece of content because I was so worried about maintaining this image of success that I almost sabotaged the very thing that I had worked so hard to build. Does that sound familiar to anyone? I mean, I kind of like feel some of y'all nodding right now. But the thing that I learned is success is never, girl, it is never about being perfect. It's not about never messing up or meeting every expectation out there or pleasing every single person, right? It's about growth. It's about continuing to push forward even when it feels uncomfortable, even when the pressure is on, right? Like you're gonna make mistakes along the way. You're gonna stumble. I've said this before, you're gonna fall on your ass. You're gonna fall pretty damn hard. But that's part of the journey. That's where the growth happens. So let me ask you, like, where are you in your life right now holding yourself back because you're scared of what might happen when you succeed? And I didn't say if you succeed, I said when you succeed, because I believe that you will succeed. Maybe it's in your trading. You've had some good wins, but now you're hesitating taking risks because you're afraid of losing what you've gained. Or maybe it's in your career. You've, maybe been offered a promotion, but you're doubting whether you can handle the extra responsibility. Or maybe it's in something personal, like stepping into motherhood or fatherhood. Whatever it is, I want you to take a second and ask yourself, what are you really afraid of? Is it the fear of failure? Or is it the fear that once you succeed, you won't be able to keep up? Every single one of these points that I went through isn't just about money. It's about how you're showing up in every area of your life, whether it's trading, it's relationships, your career, your personal growth. All of it comes back to your mindset. And if you don't shift the way that you think about money, about opportunities, about success, then you're going to keep playing small. And I don't want that for you. So the next time you feel yourself hesitating, the next time that stupid imposter syndrome starts creeping in and making you question whether you belong here, you tell it to shut up. No, but really, like you should take a moment and remind yourself, right? That I'm going to get real deep right now. You ready for this? You didn't come this far to only come this far. Whew. Simple but effective. Write that down. You really do have the power to shift your mindset. You have the power to take action, to start building the life and the wealth that you deserve. But the question is, are you ready to do the work? I hope you enjoyed this episode of Beyond the Charts. If you found this podcast helpful, please help me by subscribing and sharing it with a friend so I can continue to provide more value to you. I'm Miriam, your host, reminding you to look beyond the charts and envision your extraordinary potential. Until next time, go be great.